me in this one.
Just keep smiling.
So,
It says we are live.
okay.
So, hello, good morning, everyone. I'm checking my profile on my there we go, to make sure we are live and that you can see us. So, good morning. Today is the day. Welcome. I am Airial Re'nal, and this is the virtual Central US VetCon. There's a ton of stuff going on today. So, instead of competing, what I decided to do was just join the crowd. And that's a lesson in life, too. Instead of competing, learn how to collaborate or adjust whenever you can. And trust me, I have been so outside of my comfort zone. But one thing that you learn when you step outside your comfort zone is that that's when you reach true success. And I have learned so much these past few months. I built so many connections and relationships, lost some relationships, but hey, it is what it is, right? So speaking of making connections, I have Travis. How do you pronounce your name? Rahill or
Rahill,
Rahill?
Rahill.
Rahill. Travis Rahill here from Melwood Services, Melwood Veteran Services. I'm tongue tied this morning. It's early, y'all. And Melwood is one of our sponsors. And first of all, I want to say thank you for
Absolutely.
being a sponsor.
Thank you. You're
And
welcome.
thank
You're
you for
welcome.
coming down as well.
Absolutely.
And I want Travis to give you a little bit of information about Melwood and about himself because Travis is a veteran. So go ahead.
All right. So my name is Travis Rahill. I've been with Melwood Veteran Services for since about May. Retired from the Army 2 years ago. Was a infantryman, actually one of the few infantrymen on Fort Meade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I actually retired out of there. 22 years in the military. Grew up in Southern Maryland and ended up retiring back there. So what I'm doing, I've been working for Melwood since May. We have Operation Tohidu, which is
But wait a minute, you were a Marine too, right?
yeah, I was
A
a Marine also.
jarhead.
Yeah, I did
Is
that
that a bad word to
no,
Marine?
no.
Jarhead.
It's faded. I did that for my first 4 years, and then I got out of the Marine Corps, got married, and then joined the Army.
So why going from Marine to Army? I'm gonna be nosy and ask
Yeah,
about you
no
first.
worries. So, a couple things. One, this was in 1996, and there was a drawdown going on, of course. So they were like, "Hey, if you want to stay in, you really should have stayed in." I'm like, I walked back into my old recruiting station. They said, "Rahill, what are you doing here?" I was like, "Gunny, I made a mistake." Well, but it all worked out because the Marine Corps and marriage at the time really did not go together. And me and my wife, actually, Valerie, just actually celebrated 20 years
Oh wow!
of marriage back on
Congratulations.
April. So,
Congratulations.
so, but yeah, so Operation Tohidu. Tohidu is a Cherokee word meaning peace of mind, body, and spirit. And that's what we go for. It's a free 5-day retreat program for veterans or service members that have been diagnosed with or are self-identifying PTSD symptoms or traumatic brain injury, anxiety, depression, anything related, service-connected, related to military service.
And how do they prove that they're a vet? Well, proving that you're a service member is easy.
That's easy.
But how do they prove that they're a veteran?
All right, so veteran service member. The thing I asked for, DD-214 with their social blocked out on it. I have pretty good credit. I don't need their credit. So I don't, speaking of DD-214s, don't care what the RE code says. Don't care what the character of services is.
Oh, I like that.
And I don't care about the three little letters that give the characterization of service. So honorable, other than honorable, general. I mean, bad conduct. What was it before? And I mean, but to be honest with you, anything that's bad conduct, I mean, we can probably trace it back to untreated post-traumatic stress.
I agree.
I mean, so it's going to we'll connect the dots, and like I said, it's going to be on a case-by-case basis.
What about showing a VA card?
VA ID card's fine.
Okay.
And if they don't have a VA ID card or a DD-214, show as Army. So show me an NCOER, show me an evaluation report, show me an award, show me something with your name and proving, and only something that you can get in the military. So we're very flexible. We do get audited. We have to prove that we're serving the community we're serving. So that's just, I mean, any very flexible on source documents.
You mentioned service members and veterans. What about family members?
We are doing couples retreats. Actually, we have our first couple retreat coming up on October 2nd. We're bringing 8 couples in to Southern Maryland, and first time doing it. First time we're doing it. All of our facilitators have taken part and done couples retreats before, but it's the first time we have this team together doing it. So I think it's going to be a really good event. One day, I'm hoping one day, God willing, that we get to the point where we can actually do something with bringing in families. Because, I mean, when you bring children into the dynamic, which they are, it's a military family, but right now we have to stay within our resources and within our abilities and do what we can. So right now, focusing on the veteran, and then also focusing on the spouse, because if you can save the veteran or the service member, you save the spouse, then you can save the family. So we're going at it from that angle.
And you just opened up one in Texas, correct?
Right. So this will be February. We're doing our second couples retreat down in Denton, Texas, which is about it's about an hour northwest of Fort Worth. There's a camp down there. I'll plug them. It's Leadership on the Move. So it's a real great facility down there. Would definitely recommend it for any retreat program. They were very reasonable, and it's a great facility. So we went there in July, and we had a men's retreat there. Went really well. We took our show on the road, and we're doing it, and we're bringing some of those same people back and some other couples in. Although, to be honest with you, with February we've started putting people on the list, but we haven't fully identified, hey, who's going there, because I mean that's 5 months away, 4 months away. I mean, who knows what they're doing at this point from now? So
I'll let you finish talking about Operation Tohidu without me talking. No, at least I'll try not to talk.
Please ask questions. It's the best way to do this. What we've actually focused on we will have done 8 retreats this year. That's what we have programmed. 4 of them so far, 5 of them now, and 3 more for the rest of the year. We'll have ended up doing more women's retreats than men, which is, and actually the number of people applying for our retreats, or the percentages, it's about 45% men, 55% women, which is opposite of every dynamic or the demographic for post 9/11 veterans, which is roughly 75% men, 25% women. I mean, depends on the service, but so I mean, however way you want to count it, it's definitely opposite of the traditional veteran audience. So that's something else that we're doing. I mean, because what we're looking at is the hidden ones. I mean, now, granted, if somebody has a physical disability, by all means, we will help them, because physical disability or physical injuries usually are accompanied by mental injuries also. We don't discriminate. I mean, we will bring everybody is welcome. But there's a lot of good organizations out there doing great work with people with physical Gersonese Foundation. I mean, the Wounded Warrior Project. I mean, there's a lot of good organizations out there. I'm trying to think what else.
So you said the program is no cost to
no cost. It's $0 for attendees. So
what about travel?
$0.
So you pay for. So if I came from Kansas to Maryland,
you'd have to drive to the airport.
That's it.
That's it. So you need to. From here it's 2 hours away, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you have to drive to Kansas.
Unless you'll fly me out of Manhattan.
I don't know. That might be a little expensive. No, we try and go with the major airports to bring down, because as a nonprofit we bring out. But at the same point, what's reasonable? What can we do? So yeah, we probably would.
So is there you apply and then you
go on our website,
say yay or nay?
So we could go on the website, which is operationtohidu.org, and you can find it. There's a link on on your website.
VetCon.
Yes.
CentralUSVetCon.com.
There we go. See, that's you're reading your cue cards now. So, so they go on there. There's a register button. Submit registration. It is just basic contact info, and then some check boxes. Just please tell us what do you think? PTSD, traumatic brain injury, military sexual assault. Actually, I need to talk about that for a second. And then depression, anxiety. Just share all that apply. And it's not mandatory that they share, but it would help. And there's also some free-form text boxes where they can sit there. Tell us why you want to come to a retreat. I've seen everything from 2 sentences to a novel, and that's why we read it all. And we're just at the point where this September's retreat was the first time, about a month ago, we had to start putting people on the waiting list. So
I was going to ask that.
So it's right now we're scheduling January through March. I mean, we're doing 4 retreats, one in January, one in February, and then 2 in March. So we're starting to put people on that. Everything the rest of this year is pretty much full.
So, my audience knows I love to try to bring things to Kansas area or this area that is considered flyover state. Yeah. So how would we get
so what we're
one here in this area?
So the only thing we need a facility. I mean, we need some sort of camp. If it's I mean, we've done an hotel.
Okay, got that. What's next?
No, it's very possible because we're actually looking to come because Melwood. So backing up a little bit. Melwood has been around since 1963. They got their start helping kids with differing abilities. And now that's what me and you grew up knowing as special needs kids. Mm-hmm. So, but it's differing abilities. So, but they do summer camp during the summer. So from May, June, and July, or actually June, July, and August, our home facility is busy. I mean, the cabins are full. All the courses, all of our stuff is full. I mean, with doing summer camp. So we're actually looking at doing 2 retreats. We did one last summer, so we took it on the road, and then we're looking to do 2 this coming summer. So Kansas might be one. So, but I will say we went to Texas in July last year, and I don't know what we were thinking.
Hot.
It was hot. Doesn't even begin to describe it.
Hot.
It was very, very warm down there. But I mean, so no, here would be an option.
So remind me to show you the campgrounds here in the
area. Great, absolutely. I'm looking to try and do one within. I'd like to do one within driving distance of Southern Maryland or the D.C. area. So Southern Pennsylvania, Shenandoah Valley, maybe West Virginia. I'm thinking it's not the summertime. If you go north a little bit, or if you go up in elevation a little bit, it gets a little bit cooler. So I mean, why not? It's just we're kind of inventing ourselves. I mean, we're expanding, and we have a lot of freedom because we're a small company inside of a large company. So
and Melwood's been around since 1963.
Yeah, so
long history.
Yeah. So and what I said earlier about military sexual trauma, we actually have our November retreat. We're running a pilot program. It's all every woman there. Well, we haven't run into it with any men, but I mean, it's a women's retreat. Everyone there is a military sexual trauma survivor. So unfortunately, there was enough interest that I could have scheduled a second retreat just off the numbers there.
Oh.
But I want to make sure we do this right. We need to, because it's a pilot, we want to bring it in. One of our facilitators is a MST survivor. She's really she came to me saying, "Hey, I want to do this," and I'm like, "That's great. Talk to the boss. Let's make your case." And she did, and she took it to Dave Blackledge, and he was like, "Let's do this." So
let me check. I'm gonna keep talking. Okay. I'm gonna check to see if there's any questions.
Okay. So that is going on in November. December we have a men's retreat. January women's. February is couples. And then March, we're doing a men's and then a women's retreat. So how are we doing on questions? Anything?
Nothing yet.
Okay,
we have
no worries.
A couple of views. If people are like me, they're not awake yet.
Yeah, no worries. So,
but it's recorded, so people can access it later, so no problem.
And email, probably the easiest way. It's TRAHILL at MELWOOD.org. So
now you got to spell that phonetically. Now.
Okay. Tango Romeo Alpha Hotel India Lima at Mike Echo Lima Whiskey Oscar Delta .org. I'm gonna skip the last part.
I can tell you haven't been out that long because I'm like Mike.
No. You got it.
Echo. So, anything else you want to talk about? I'm really excited about Melwood.
Yeah.
And I look forward to hopefully attending a retreat, but I really want to get one here.
Okay. All right. Well,
and not just to be selfish for myself, but of course everybody.
To bring stuff here.
Right.
So, I mean, we are, like I said, it's right now, it's Melwood Veteran Services. Well, right now it's Melwood Veteran Service. We have one. All right. So we're actually, Melwood, and there's another nonprofit in the Melwood's primarily been Maryland area. There's a nonprofit called Linden Resources that's in the Northern Virginia area. We're actually in the process of merging. Now, it's Melwood's was about 3-4 times the size of Linden. So, but I'm not involved in all that, but what was of interest in why we're Melwood Veterans Services, they had a program. Linden Resources is a program. It's called Vets Ready to Work. So that with the number 2, finding jobs for veterans in the DC metro area, or the greater DC metro area. So the merger is official. We're right now on the way of how we're integrating. Because you're taking 2 organizations that have been around about the same length of time and merging them together, and again, doing it right. So this one, there's some other things where there's a lot of overlap, but this is a pretty much a plug and play. It's a veteran staffing organization, and plug it in here, take it out there, plug it in somewhere else. So there's that part of Linden. There's no equivalent in Melwood. So it seems pretty straightforward, but then lawyers and HR and merger and how everything goes. So I think it's straightforward, but then again, I'm just just a guy here. So so that's something that we're doing, and we're actually we're discussing how to incorporate people because they run on a system of tier 1 through 3. Now, I'm pretty sure that we could have this backwards, but tier 1 individuals ready to go to work now. Maybe polish the resume a little bit. This is how you interview. You're going to have to do. So that's tier 1. Tier 2, a little more work. Maybe no resume, but otherwise they're ready to go, or they don't do interviews well, or just whatever. But so some minor barriers for work. The tier 3 individuals, major barriers to work. So one of the things we've talked about is, well, depending on what those barriers are, maybe Operation Tohidu is a possible route for that. Then there's also we have Tohidu graduates, and then if we have people in the DC area or people that want to move to the DC area, because there's a lot of jobs there. Yeah, there's a lot of jobs there. So it's always growing. But if people are looking to move there, we have an organization that can help you find a job there. Won't pay relocation or anything along those lines. Use your retirement move. I still have mine in my pocket. So, so I'm sure I will think of about 15 things right after we finish this. But
that's okay, because we will be going live on and off all day today. I don't want to say chauffeuring. That sounds kind of.
Well, show me around the show.
I'm showing Travis around Junction City today. There's Jammin' and JC going on. There's Apple Days at Fort Riley. There's Cider Days in Topeka. There's some activities going on in Manhattan. There's a ton. And we're going to go and speak to everyone, hopefully catch everyone who is a big influence in Junction City and the surrounding areas to see if we can get this Operation Tohidu here in our area. And when we're not live, make sure you're posting on Facebook, asking me any questions. Feel free to comment under this video, or send me an inbox message at Airial Re'nal or at the Veteran Woman LLC, and we will make sure to answer it. If I don't know the answer, if Travis doesn't know the answer, we will find somebody who does. And if we can't figure out the answer today, we'll figure it out within the next week. Okay? All right. So any last words for now?
No, that's it. I think let's get the show on the road here.
All righty.
Although,
so
first, some more coffee would probably be in order.
Some more coffee?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I guess we're going to get coffee. So thank you all, and stay tuned for more from the Central U.S. VetCom. I am Airial Re'nal signing off here with Travis Rahill.
All right, thank you.